Hello and welcome to the Watch channel. And that's a really bad Scottish accent. I'm so sorry, Jody. Right, we're going to be taking a look at the Erebus Origin today. So for those of you aware, Jody and Stevie Parker, Jody being of the YouTube channel Just One More Watch, which I'll put a link up somewhere up here, produced a watch mid to late last year, the Erebus Origin. And Jody sent me one, so, you know, a little bit of pre-warning. He did send me this. He's made it plainly apparent that he wants me to be highly critical of the watch wherever possible. So I will try and do that. But you'd think that somebody who's reviewed thousands of watches and has now decided to enter into the realm of being a manufacturer of a watch, there'd probably be some learnings taken. So let's turn the camera around and take a look at it. But I do want to say, before we get into the details of the watch, and just as I suppose a point of trivia, I've met Jody on a few occasions now, and what you see on his channel is exactly what you see in his living room or out having drinks, so on and so forth. He is just an energetic, enthusiastic, lovable character. And I think that's really important to understand, because sometimes the persona that you see on camera with somebody on a channel, on YouTube or whatever, may not be the sort of person that they present themselves in real life, but he is. And like I say, that I find that really endearing about somebody, is the fact that they are an authentic character. What you see is what you get. Anyway, let's take a look at the watch in further detail, and we'll go through some pros and if we can find some cons. As we get into the dimensions of the watch, you're looking at a 41mm diameter, but that doesn't include the crown, of course. You do have a top to bottom lug width of 47mm and 12.5mm of thickness. Now, if you're actually looking to wear this watch on the wrist with a suit or something like that, then this watch isn't going to be too obtrusive. That 47mm top to bottom lug is actually quite generous and form-fitting. You'll see there, you'll notice on the side profiles that I put in the video now, those lugs do go down, so they basically make this watch very wearable if you do have a smaller wrist. Now, I also put some footage up with it on my wrist, which is 7¼ inches, so it's not massive, it's not tiny either, but it's a good size watch. And I've got to say, you know, you need to remember this is designed to be a functional dive watch. It's not a dress dive or anything like that. It's not going to be, you know, a Rolex Submariner, which is designed for, you know, wearing with your tuxedo as well as with your dive suit. It's a dive watch, and everything in terms of its design, feature set and its looks is determined by that, I suppose, requirement to be a watch that you can wear in the water. Now, when we talk about the case, you've got 316L stainless steel. There's no fancy finishing on it, it's just a brushed finish. Now, that's not to say that the case design is not intricate in any way, shape or form. It does, it's got lots of angles. It's a very nicely original case. It does have some design elements, I think, that look like the Samurai, especially when you take a look at it from the side, that sort of angular look to it, but there was no sharp edges or anything like that. It's well finished, but it is a plain, functional, I suppose, satin brushed finish across the entire case. When we start looking at the bezel, and this is something that reminds me of a watch that I had before, the B42 Marine Master. That bezel is lovely. It's a ceramic, a very flat sort of finish to it, inlaid with BGW9 Super-Luminova, so it is very legible in low light situations. I'm going to put some footage up now to show you what the legibility looks like in low light situations, and for me it's up there with the best of them, regardless of whether it's Seiko, Steel Dive, any of those watches that you think about automatically when you go high lume or you know, high visibility in low light situations. This is going to match them and exceed probably most of them. The lume starts off blazing and then settles down into a nice luminosity that will last you throughout the night. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you high legibility, then certainly this watch is going to be something that fits that bill. Now, when we look at the dial, you do have a printed dial. Again, absolute globs of BGW9 on those markers and the hands. The hands are very broad, very functional. They're just, they remind me a lot of the Sinn U1. In fact, actually the bracelet, we'll come to that in a little while, but yeah, absolutely legible. And you do have this nice pebble dashed effect on that dial. Dial printing, you'll see the macro footage that I put up shortly. Very sharp printing. There's been a lot of attention to detail and care taken to make sure that that printing is taken care of. And that pebble dash effect really diffuses the light. You do have a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, but with that dial sort of effect, you do find that it actually diffuses light and makes for a very, very legible case, especially in sunny situations. When we take a look at the crown guard, you can see you do have a signed crown there with the Erebus logo, and you've got fairly strong, I suppose, bulky crown guards, which all speak to, you know, protecting that crown and against bashers or, you know, knocks, so on and so forth. I must say I found the crown to be quite large, but again, in terms of functionality, if you're wearing gloves or something like that, then that's a very easy thing to grip onto and you know, pull the crown out. Although I suggest you don't do that when you're got it in the water. Bezel action on this watch is 120 click unidirectional. It is some of the finest clicking that I've had in my watch collecting career. Sounds very weird, doesn't it? It's a lovely click it is. And just to give you an example, lovely, very nice. No, not much back play on it, but it is a very satisfying movement, and the bird edges on it very easy to grip and get a hold of. Take some footage, or I've taken some footage, sorry, to show you what it looks like in macro detail, but overall finishing very, very fine on that bezel. Now, if we take a look at the bracelet, you do have a curved H-link bracelet. This is very reminiscent of the Sinn U1 in my opinion, and that being one of the watches that I really love. I don't have one in my collection, but this and that bracelet has certainly managed to, I suppose, sate my desire for that watch. It is very comfortable to wear. You do have a nice clasp on it, and it is also signed with the Erebus logo. You will notice that this watch on the bracelet has already some buffed marks on it. I use a MacBook for work, which has got an aluminium case, so it does scrape against the case there, but you know, that's the life of a watch. It's going to get scratches on it, guys, especially when you've got a clasp that's brushed. But very nice overall, and you do have that diver's extension, which helps give you an extension of thereabouts a centimetre plus or minus. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, depending on the heat or, you know, whether I'm retaining water or whatever it may be, my wrist size does change slightly. So it's nice to be able to have something that I can just adjust quickly rather than take a link out. Whilst we're talking about the links, they are screwed links, and Jody has provided a screwdriver with the watch so that you can adjust to your heart's content. Now, Erebus do also provide a strap pack, 3 different straps, 2 rubber and 1 NATO, all with signed clasps, and I'll put some footage up for you now to show you those. But if you do want to change the style of the watch, then you can do so. And again, bearing in mind that Jody's got a lot of experience with lots of different brands, this watch has quick release straps, so you can change out the bracelet very easily and swap in a rubber bracelet without too much fuss, and certainly when it's a new watch without scratching the case trying to get that bracelet out, swapping with the strap. Again, you know, if you are going into, say, like a sea environment, so you're down at the beach or something like that, some people may want to wear the rubber strap because, first of all, it's lighter and more comfortable, but secondly, you know, you aren't wearing something that's too heavy. Now, that's not to say the watch is heavy with the bracelet, but it is certainly a lot lighter when you wear it with that rubber strap. The rubber straps are very supple, they're nice to wear, they seem to be quite high quality, and again, at 35 bucks for a pack of 3, you know, you can pay that for one strap with many other brands, so I think that's really good value. Often when I get a watch, the box goes somewhere, like in the cupboard or whatever it is, and that's it. It's only ever taken out if I sell the watch, or, well, if I sell the watch, quite frankly. Once I've got it on the wrist, then it goes in the watch box, so the packaging is forgotten about. But when you buy the watch from Erebus, you get a 2-watch case. So whenever I go away now, I can wear or take 3 watches with me and have them safely packaged in my Erebus watch box. Again, just really smart thinking from Stevie and Jody here, making absolutely everything that you get functional. So thank you very much, guys. That's actually, I was really impressed by that. Now, again, talk about watches and micro brands, and especially homage watches. You're buying on AliExpress or something like that, you can be spending $300–400 on a San Martin or something like that, and if it shits itself, quite frankly, breaks, you are shit out of luck getting your money back. Yeah, it's just a bit of a ball ache. What you do get, though, with the Erebus is a 2-year international warranty. So whether you are in Australia, the UK, Uganda, Zimbabwe, South Africa, wherever you are, quite frankly, on this planet, 2 years of worry-free ownership with that international warranty. So that's something to think about as well. When we talk about inside the watch, you do have the Darling NH35 movement from Seiko. It's a darling movement because it is a workhorse. It's well used across the brand, across many micro brands, sorry, for a number of reasons, but primarily because it is highly reliable. It's a 24 jewel movement with a 21,600 BPH or beat rate, which means it has a longer than average service interval. Now, I've had this watch on the wrist for about a week now, and I think it's lost there or thereabouts 30 seconds, something like that, which is absolutely remarkable. Now, again, it might just be a good watch that I got, but it's fair to say that these watches, based on my own personal experience, are quite accurate out of the box. Again, it will settle down, it's still running in, but I'm hopeful that it's going to be more than, I suppose, within specs for an NH35A movement. Back of the watch, you do have that steel solid case back with the Erebus logo and some of the features printed on the back, but it's a very nice engraving on there, and like I say, it just adds to the overall view of the watch. One thing I've got to say about this watch, though, and it's not a con as such, but other reviews have said, oh, it looks like this, it looks like that. I think everybody's going to find something that they that resonates with them, or it reminds them of something else. But that goes back to, for me, the fact that it is a functional dive watch, and for it to be functional, it's going to have, you know, lots of lume. It's going to have certain sort of characteristics about it that are tried and tested in other brands. So I think, you know, this element of, oh, it looks like this and it looks like that. You know what? Yeah, it might do, and quite frankly, do I care? No, I don't. Do I like the watch? Yeah, I do, and that's why I've got it. So it's, you know, watching some of these reviews, it's a little bit annoying sometimes because they, oh, it reminds me of this, and you know, that's not very original. You know what, guys? If you bought the watch, then you like it, so it doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned. For me, B42 Marine Master and a Sinn U1 on the bracelet in particular. In closing, guys, I've got to say, really, really impressed with the watch. Do I think that there could be any improvements? I could probably nitpick, maybe drop the price a little bit, but you know, at $500 Australian, there or thereabouts, is that, you know, daylight robbery? No, it isn't. You would pay $1,500 to $2,000 for a Seiko with the same feature set, and probably about 2 to 3 if it were a Swiss brand. So pricing's fine, and that's me nitpicking, quite frankly. It's a really solid first watch for Erebus, and I couldn't be more pleased for Stevie and Jody. I think they've absolutely hit a home run here, and by the sales amounts, I would say that they probably have been vindicated in their pursuit of setting up their own brand. So good luck to them and congratulations. Other than that, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate your support. If you do want to support the channel more, though, please do consider subscribing. It only takes a second and it does not cost you anything. Other than that, guys, I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your weekends. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in a new video very soon. Take care, guys.